The stars looked different from here. Captain Doyen Park stood on the observation deck of the Aurora and stared at the massive station floating in space. Viridian Prime, the center of the Galactic Council, home to 847 different alien species, and today, humanity would ask to join them. Doyen was 42 years old. He had served in Earth's military for 20 years before becoming a space captain. He had seen war. He had lost friends, but nothing prepared him for this moment. They were not just representing their ship. They were representing all of humanity. Dr. Hana Kim walked up beside him. She was the ship's science officer. At 35, she was one of the smartest people Doyen had ever met. She studied aliens and their cultures. She had spent the last 3 months preparing for this meeting. "Captain, the council is ready for us," Hana said. Her voice was calm, but Doyen could see the excitement in her eyes. "How do I look?" Doyen asked with a small smile. "Like someone about to make history," Hana replied. They took a shuttle to the main station. Lieutenant Minho Choi came with them. He was 29 and in charge of security. Young but very good at his job. Engineer Ji-won Lee stayed on the Aurora to watch the systems. Ambassador Unisong was already at the station. She had arrived 2 days earlier to prepare. The council chamber was enormous. The ceiling stretched so high that Doyen could barely see it. Hundreds of aliens sat in curved rows. Some had forearms. Some had scales. Some glowed with strange light. Others looked like nothing Doyen had ever imagined. Ambassador Yuna stood at the center. She was 48 and had gray in her hair. She wore a simple blue suit. Nothing fancy. She believed humans should show who they really were. "Members of the council," Yuna began. "I am Ambassador Yuna Song of Earth. I speak for humanity. We come in peace. We come to learn. We come to share what we know." The aliens listened. Some nodded. Others made strange sounds. A tall being with purple skin stood up. He was the council speaker. "Welcome, humans. We have reviewed your request. But first we must perform the standard biological scan. All species undergo this process. It is for everyone's safety." Yuna nodded. She expected this. The humans stood still as blue light washed over them. Machines hummed. Data appeared on screens around the chamber. Then everything stopped. The speaker's face changed. He looked at his data pad, then at the humans, then back at the pad. "This cannot be correct," he said slowly. "Run the scan again." The blue light came again. The machines made the same sounds. The same data appeared. The speaker stood very still. "What's wrong?" Yuna asked. The speaker looked around the chamber. "The scan shows something impossible. Humans lack the fear response inhibitor. Every sentient species in the galaxy has this protein in their brain. It stops fear from completely controlling us. But humans, you have nothing." Whispers spread through the chamber. Aliens turned to each other. Some made alarmed sounds. Hana stepped forward. "May I explain?" The speaker nodded. Hana walked to the center. She was not afraid of the hundreds of eyes watching her. "We know about fear," Hana said. "Earth was a dangerous world. We had predators everywhere. Big animals that hunted us, diseases that killed us, natural disasters that destroyed our homes. Fear kept us alive. It made us careful. But we learned something else too. We learned that we could feel fear and still act. We could be terrified and still fight, still run, still save each other." A small alien with large eyes spoke up. Her voice was high and worried. "But how? Fear should stop you. That is what it does. It protects us by making us freeze or hide. For us, fear is different," Hana explained. "Yes, we feel it, sometimes very strongly. But our ancestors who could push through fear survived. They had children. Over millions of years, this became part of us. Fear warns us. It does not control us." An alien with red scales stood up. He was angry. "This makes humans dangerous. They are fear-immune primitives. They could threaten the council." More voices joined in. The chamber became loud. Some aliens demanded that humans be rejected. Others wanted to study them. A few seemed fascinated. Minho moved closer to Yuna and Hana. His hand went to his belt where he had a small weapon, but he did not draw it. He just watched. Ready but calm, the speaker raised his hands. Silence fell. Ambassador Song. "This discovery changes things. The council must discuss. We will continue tomorrow." Yuna bowed slightly. "We understand. We will wait." The humans returned to their shuttle. Nobody spoke for a while. Finally, Minho said what they were all thinking. They're afraid of us. Yes, Yuna said. They are. And we need to show them they do not need to be. Back on the Aurora, the crew gathered. Jiwon had been watching everything from the ship. She had seen the scans. She had heard the reaction. So we're special because we're broken? Jiwon asked. Not broken, Hana said. Different. Evolution took us on a different path. Every species is unique. This is just our uniqueness. Doyen looked at his crew. Good people. Brave people. He had seen each of them face danger and keep going. That was normal for humans, but for the rest of the galaxy it was impossible to understand. We need a plan, Doyen said. Tomorrow they will ask questions. Hard questions. We need to show them that humans can be trusted. They talked late into the night. Hana prepared data about human history, stories of courage but also of kindness, times when humans helped each other despite danger. Yuna practiced her speech. Minho checked security, making sure nothing would go wrong. The next morning they returned to the council. More aliens had come to watch. The chamber was full. Everyone wanted to see the strange humans who did not have fear like normal beings. The red-scaled alien from yesterday spoke first. You say fear does not control you. Prove it, he pressed a button. A creature appeared in the center of the chamber. It was a hologram, but it looked real. A huge beast with teeth and claws. Something designed to scare. The aliens in the chamber moved back. Some covered their faces. The creature roared. Minho did not move. He studied the creature calmly. Then he walked toward it. The hologram roared again, louder. Minho walked right through it. He turned and looked at the red-scaled alien. It is not real, Minho said. Why would I fear something that cannot hurt me? The alien looked frustrated. But your body should react. Your instincts should make you freeze. My instincts tell me to assess the threat, Minho replied. I assessed. It is not a threat. So I do not fear it. Yuna stepped forward. This was her moment. Members of the council, you see us as dangerous because we are different. But think about this. For 300 years you have had peace. You built this council on avoiding conflict. That is good. That is wise. But what happens when you face something that wants to harm you? Something that will not talk? Will your fear help you then? The chamber was quiet. Yuna continued. Humans learn to work with fear. We respect it. We listen to it. But we do not let it stop us from doing what is right. If you accept us into the council, you gain friends who will stand beside you when others cannot. Is that not worth something? The speaker stood. He looked thoughtful. Before he could speak, alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed throughout the chamber. A voice came over the speakers. Alert. Unknown vessels detected. Approaching fast. All personnel to emergency stations. The humans looked at each other. Something was coming. Something unexpected. And their chance to join the council would have to wait. The alarm screamed through every corridor of Viridian Prime. Doyen ran toward the command center with Yuna and Hana. Minho was already ahead of them, his weapon drawn. Around them, aliens moved in panic. Some ran into walls. Others froze in place. What is happening? Yuna shouted over the noise. A security officer stumbled past them. His skin was pale green and he was shaking. Unknown ships, many ships. Coming from deep space. Never seen before. They reached the command center. Large screens showed space around the station. Doyen's breath caught. There were 50 vessels out there. Maybe more. They were unlike any ships he had ever seen. Black and organic looking. They seemed to pulse with dark energy. The speaker stood at the center of the room. His purple skin had turned almost white. Other council members surrounded him. All of them looked terrified. What are those? Doyen asked. We do not know, the speaker whispered. They are not in any of our records. We have never encountered them. Hana moved to a console. She started pulling up data. The ships were huge. Each one was bigger than the Aurora. And they were moving in perfect formation. Like a hunting pack. Have you tried to communicate? Yuna asked. Yes, no response. They just keep coming. Then suddenly it happened. A sound filled the station. It was not really a sound. More like a feeling. A pressure inside the head. A frequency that made something deep in the brain scream. Every alien in the command center stopped moving. Their eyes went wide. Their bodies went rigid. Some fell to their knees. Others simply stood frozen, unable to move or speak. The speaker's mouth opened, but no words came out. His hands shook. Tears ran down his face. He was conscious. He could see and hear, but he could not move. Doyen looked around in shock. What just happened? Hana checked her scanner. Her face went pale. Captain, the ships are broadcasting a signal. It is targeting specific brain proteins. The fear response inhibitor. Yuna understood immediately. They are using fear as a weapon, yes, and it is working. Look at them. They are paralyzed with terror. Doyen touched the speaker's shoulder. The alien's eyes moved to look at him. Doyen could see the fear in those eyes. The complete, overwhelming fear.
Can you hear me?
The speaker's eyes blinked once. Yes, he could hear. But he could not respond. Minho came running back into the command center. His communicator was in his hand. Captain, it is the same everywhere. The entire station. Every alien is frozen. Guards, workers, everyone. Only humans are still moving. How many humans are on the station? Doyen asked. Just us. The Aurora crew. 12 people total. 12 people. On a station with thousands of aliens. All of whom were now helpless. Doyen's mind raced. He looked at the screens. The dark ships were getting closer. They would reach the station in less than an hour. What do those ships want? Hana was already working on that question. She analyzed the broadcast signal. She looked at the ship designs. She checked historical databases. Then she found something. There are old stories, she said. Very old, before the council was formed. Tales of dark ships that came from between galaxies. They called them the Void Harbingers. But everyone thought they were just myths, warnings that parents told children. What did these harbingers do? Yuna asked. They destroyed civilizations, but not with weapons. They just appeared, and entire populations would die from fear. No one ever understood how, now we know, Doyen said grimly. They weaponize fear itself. Minho checked his weapon. So what do? We cannot fight 50 ships with one small crew. We do not have a choice, Yuna said. Look around. We are the only ones who can act. If we do nothing, everyone on this station will die. Doyen made a decision. He touched his communicator. Aurora, this is Captain Park, emergency situation. All crew report to stations immediately. We are taking control of the station's defense systems. Jiwan's voice came back. Captain, what is happening? The aliens all just stopped moving. I will explain later. Right now, I need you to access the station's main computer. We need weapons, shields, everything. Can you do that? There was a pause. Then Jiwan replied, I can try. But Captain, these are alien systems. I do not know if I can figure them out in time. You will figure it out. You always do. Doyen out. He turned to Hana. I need you to find a way to block that signal. Or counter it, something. We need these people functional. Hana nodded. I will do my best, Minho, Doyen continued. Get our security team. 4 people. I want them protecting key areas. Medical bay, power station, life support. If those ships board us, we need to keep critical systems running. Understood. Minho ran out. Yuna looked at the frozen council members. They were aware. They could see humans taking charge of their station. Doyen wondered what they were thinking. Were they grateful? Angry, both. We should record this, Yuna said. Our actions. Our decisions. If we survive, they need to know we did this to help them. If we do not survive, they need to know we tried. Good thinking. Doyen activated the station's recording system. This is Captain Doyen Park of the Earth vessel Aurora. Unknown hostile vessels are approaching Viridian Prime. All alien personnel are incapacitated by a fear weapon. The human crew is taking emergency command of the station's defense. We act with no authority except the need to protect life. All our actions are recorded for review. Park out, Jiwan's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, I am in the system. It is complicated, but I think I understand the basics. The station has defense platforms. 20 of them. Powerful energy weapons, but they need manual control. Can you control them from there? Yes, but I will need help. These platforms were designed for teams of operators. I am just one person, Doyen thought fast. How many people do you need? At least 3 more. To cover all the platforms effectively, he did the math in his head. 4 people for defense platforms, 4 people for security. Hana on the signal problem. Yuna coordinating. That left only him. Send me 3 crew members, Doyen ordered. I will help you with the platforms. The next 30 minutes were chaos. Humans ran through the station, trying to understand alien technology. They made mistakes. They hit wrong buttons, but they learned fast. They had to. The dark ships kept coming, closer and closer. Doyen watched them on the screens. They moved with confidence, like predators that had never encountered resistance. G1, status report. Platforms are online. I have firing solutions on the lead ships. Shields are at maximum. But Captain, I have to tell you something. These defense systems, they are strong. Really strong. Stronger than anything we have on Earth. If I had to guess, I would say the Council built these expecting to use them against major threats. Then why are they so afraid? Doyen wondered aloud. Because they never imagined having to use them while paralyzed, Una said quietly. Their whole defense strategy assumed they would have time to think, to plan, to coordinate. But this enemy does not give them that time. The lead Harbinger ship came into weapons range. Doyen took a deep breath. This was it. Humanity's first battle on behalf of the Galactic Council, a council that had not even accepted them yet. All platforms, this is Captain Park, you are weapons free. Target the lead ships. Fire when ready. Blue energy lanced out from the defense platforms, 20 beams of pure power. They struck the dark ships. For a moment, Doyen thought it would not be enough. The ships were too big, too strong. Then 3 of the lead ships exploded. Fire bloomed in the darkness of space. The other Harbinger vessels slowed down, stopped. For the first time, they seemed uncertain. They are not used to this, Hana said. She had been watching everything while working on her own problem. They expect their targets to be helpless. We are fighting back. They do not know how to respond. Good, Doyen said. Let us keep them confused. All platforms continue firing. Focus on the closest ships. The battle had begun. 12 humans against 50 alien ships. The odds were terrible. But for the first time since the Harbingers arrived, there was something new in the air. Hope. The defense platforms fired again and again. More Harbinger ships exploded. But there were still so many of them. For every ship destroyed, 2 more moved forward to take its place. Jiwan's voice came over the comm. She sounded tired already. Captain, platforms 3 and 7 are overheating. I need to let them cool down. How long? Doyen asked. 5 minutes, maybe 10. We do not have 10 minutes. The Harbingers were adapting. Their formation changed. Instead of coming straight at the station, they began to spread out. Flanking maneuvers. Classic tactics. Doyen had fought battles before, on Earth, in small conflicts between nations. But those battles had rules, warnings, time to think. This was different. This was survival. Rotate fire, he ordered. Keep them guessing. Do not let them predict our pattern. The human crew worked together like they had trained for this their whole lives. But they had not. They were explorers, not soldiers. Scientists, not warriors. Yet here they were, defending thousands of aliens who could not defend themselves. Hana looked up from her work. Captain, I found something. The fear signal. It is not just random noise. It has a structure, a pattern. The Harbingers are broadcasting it from their lead ship. The biggest one in the center. Can we jam it? Doyen asked. No, it is too powerful. Too precise. But if we destroy that lead ship, the signal should stop. Then the aliens can wake up. Doyen studied the screen. The lead ship was huge, twice the size of the others, and it was protected. Smaller Harbinger ships surrounded it like guards. Una saw what he was thinking. That ship is too far away. Our weapons cannot reach it from here. Then we need to get closer, Doyen said. Minho had just returned to the command center. He heard the last part. You want to take the Aurora out there? Into that fleet? I do not see another option. If we stay here, we will eventually lose. They have too many ships. But if we can destroy that lead vessel, the aliens wake up. Then they can help us fight. It is a suicide mission, Minho said quietly. Maybe, but it is our best chance. Doyen looked around at his crew. I will not order anyone to come. This is volunteer only. Minho smiled. It was not a happy smile. Where you go, I go. Someone needs to watch your back. I am coming too, Jiwan said over the comm. The Aurora is my ship. Well, I am the chief engineer. No one knows her systems better than me. Doyen felt pride and fear at the same time. All right, Jiwan, get the Aurora ready. Full power. All weapons armed. Minho, you are with me. Hana, you stay here. Keep analyzing that signal. If this does not work, we need a backup plan. Hana nodded. Be careful. Una stepped close to Doyen. She put a hand on his shoulder. Bring them home. I will try. 10 minutes later, the Aurora undocked from Viridian Prime. The small ship looked tiny next to the massive station, even smaller compared to the Harbinger fleet. But Doyen did not think about size. He thought about speed, about surprise, about doing the impossible. Jiwan sat at the engineering console. Minho was at weapons. Doyen took the pilot seat. It had been years since he personally piloted a ship. But some skills you never forgot. Here we go, he said. The Aurora's engines blazed to life. The ship shot forward, straight toward the Harbinger fleet. Alarm sounds filled the bridge. Warning lights flashed. The computer was screaming at them that this was a bad idea. Doyen ignored it all. He focused on flying. The Harbingers noticed them immediately. Ships turned. Weapons powered up. Dark energy beams lanced through space. Evasive maneuvers. Doyen shouted. The Aurora twisted and spun. Energy beams missed by meters. Sometimes by less. Jiwan diverted power to shields. The ship shook with near misses. This is insane. Jiwan yelled over the noise. Agreed. Doyen pulled the ship into a spiral. 2 Harbinger vessels collided, trying to follow them. Maybe insane is what we need. They flew deeper into the enemy fleet. Minho fired the Aurora's weapons. The ship's guns were small compared to the defense platforms. But at close range, they could still do damage. A Harbinger ship took a direct hit and spun away, trailing debris. Back on the station, Hana and Yuna watched on the screens. They could not help. Could not fight. Could only watch and hope. They are actually doing it, one of the human security officers whispered. They are fighting their way through. Yuna's hands were clenched so tight her knuckles were white. She looked at the frozen council speaker. His eyes were moving, tracking the battle. Was he amazed? Terrified? Grateful? Maybe all three. The Aurora dodged another barrage. Shields at 60%, Jiwan reported. How much farther? Minho asked. 2 kilometers. Doyen saw the lead ship ahead. It was enormous. Dark and pulsing. The source of so much fear. He pushed the engines harder. The Harbingers realized where they were going. More ships moved to block them. The space ahead filled with enemy vessels. There was no way through. No way through. But maybe a way under. Hold on. Doyen flipped the ship. The Aurora dove down relative to the plane of battle. The Harbingers did not expect that. Their shots went high. The Aurora flew beneath the enemy fleet. Upside down, sideways. Doyen did not care about orientation. He only cared about speed, about reaching that target. There, Minho pointed. The lead ship's underside, less protected than its top and sides. A weak point. Maybe, Jiwan, give me everything you have, Doyen ordered. Every bit of power to weapons. Shields, engines, life support if you have to. I need one massive shot, are you serious? Without shields we will be destroyed by the first hit. Then we better make sure they do not get a first hit. Do it. Jiwan's fingers flew over the controls. Power routing changed. The Aurora's weapons began to glow with stored energy. More than they were designed to hold. The ship was shaking apart. Weapon overload warning, the computer announced calmly. I know. Jiwan snapped at the computer. The lead Harbinger ship filled the view screen. Doyen lined up the shot. His hands were steady. Years of training. Years of practice. But also something else. Something that the aliens did not have. He was afraid. Terrified, actually. But fear did not stop his hands. Did not cloud his mind. It sharpened him. Made him focus. Fire, he said quietly. The Aurora's weapons discharged. Every bit of power in one concentrated beam. The shot struck the Harbinger ship's underside. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the dark vessel began to glow from within. Cracks spread across its hull. Get us out of here now, Minho yelled. Doyen pulled hard on the controls. The Aurora spun away just as the lead ship exploded. The blast wave caught them, threw them tumbling through space. Alarm screamed. Systems failed. The ship went dark. Back on Viridian Prime, the council speaker suddenly gasped. His body unlocked. All around him, aliens began to move again. The fear signal was gone. Yuna ran to him. Are you all right? The speaker looked at her with wide eyes. The humans. Where are they? Hana was trying to find them on sensors. I have them. The Aurora is drifting, no power. But I am reading life signs. They are alive! The speaker stood up. His legs were shaky. Send rescue ships immediately and prepare the defense fleet. Those Harbingers are still out there. But this time the council would not be facing them alone. Emergency power restored, Jiwan said. Her voice was weak. The explosion had thrown her against a wall. She had a cut on her forehead. But her hand still moved across the controls. Doyen checked on Minho. The lieutenant was conscious but dazed. A piece of the ceiling had fallen on him. His left arm hung at a bad angle. "Broken, we did it," Minho said through clenched teeth. "The signal stopped, I felt it. Like a pressure released, yes, but we are not done yet." Doyen helped him up. "Can you still fight?" Minho looked at his broken arm. Then he drew his weapon with his good hand. "I can fight." 2 rescue ships from the station reached them. Alien crews moving again brought the damaged Aurora back. When Doyun stepped off his ship, he saw something he did not expect. The entire docking bay was full of aliens. They stood in silence. Then as one, they began to make sounds. Different sounds for different species. But all of them meant the same thing. "Thank you." The speaker was there too. He walked forward slowly. His body still trembled from the fear that had held him. He looked at Doyen for a long moment. Then he bowed, deep and respectful. "You saved us all," he said. "When we could not move, could not think, could not fight. You stood for us. Why?" Doyen was tired. His body hurt. His ship was damaged. But he stood straight. "Because it was the right thing to do." The speaker nodded slowly, understanding. "Come. The council needs to hear what happened. And we need to plan." The harbingers are still out there. In the medical bay, doctors treated Minho's arm. Ji-won's cut was cleaned and sealed. Other human crew members who had minor injuries were also cared for. The alien doctors worked carefully. They had never treated humans before. Hana brought Doyen a data pad. "You need to see this. While you were out there, I got closer scans of one of the damaged Harbinger ships, the one Minho shot earlier. It was drifting with its systems failing. So I sent a probe. What did you find?" Hana showed him the data. Inside the Harbinger ships are chambers. Thousands of them, and they contain energy. Bioelectric energy. From living beings, Doyen felt cold. They harvest fear. Worse than that. The energy signatures match dozens of different species. Species we have never seen before. I think these are the remains of civilizations that the Harbingers destroyed. They did not just kill them. They fed on their terror, stored it, used it as fuel. That is why they never needed real weapons, Doyen said quietly. Every species they encountered would be paralyzed by the fear signal. Unable to resist, the Harbingers would just harvest them slowly until they met us. Humans do not freeze when we are afraid. We kept fighting. They have probably never encountered that before. The council chamber was different now. Before it had been orderly, calm. Now it was filled with urgent voices. Aliens shouted opinions, argued, planned. They were awake. They were thinking. But they were also still afraid. The speaker called for silence. "Captain Park, Dr. Kim, please share your findings." Hana projected the data for everyone to see. The images of the harvest chambers appeared on screens around the room. Many aliens looked away. Some made sounds of horror. "These beings," Hana explained, "the Harbingers, they are not conquerors. They are parasites. They feed on fear itself. They travel between galaxies, finding civilizations, paralyzing them, and harvesting their terror until nothing remains." "How many?" an alien asked. "How many species have they destroyed?" "Based on the energy signatures I found," Hana said softly, "at least 50. Maybe more, going back thousands of years." The chamber erupted in noise again. Panic was spreading. Doyun could see it. These aliens had just been freed from paralyzing fear. Now they were learning how many others had died the same way. "We need to destroy them," the red-scaled alien said. He was the one who had challenged humans before. Now his voice shook. "All of them. Before they recover and attack again?" "Agreed," said another voice. "We have weapons, ships. Now that we can use them, we can fight back, but what if they broadcast the signal again?" a small alien asked. The one with large eyes. "We would freeze. Be helpless once more." Silence fell. That was the problem. The Harbingers still had the fear weapon. Without the lead ship, the signal was weaker. But it was still there. "Still affecting the aliens. I might have a solution," Hana said. Everyone looked at her. "The fear signal targets a specific protein. The same protein that all of you have in your brains. I cannot remove that protein. But I might be able to block it temporarily." "How?" the speaker asked. "A drug. A temporary inhibitor. It would not make you immune like humans, but it would reduce the signal's effect. You would still feel fear, but you could fight through it, act despite it. Like humans do naturally," Yuna added. "Yes, exactly like that. But it would only last a few hours. And there might be side effects. I have never tested this on alien biology before." "I will take it," the red-scaled alien said immediately. "Test it on me." Others volunteered too. Within minutes, Hana had a group of test subjects from different species. She worked quickly, creating the drug from station medical supplies. It was dangerous, experimental, but they had no choice. While Hana worked on the drug, Doyen met with the Council's military leaders. They were planning a counterattack. The Harbingers had pulled back after losing their lead ship. They were regrouping. That gave the Council time. "We have 150 ships within range," a military commander said. She was tall with blue skin and 4 arms. "But most of our crews are still recovering from the paralysis. They are afraid." Rightly so. Many are refusing to fly against the Harbingers. "Then we use volunteers only," Doyen suggested. "People who want to fight, who understand the risk. That will give us maybe 30 ships." The commander looked frustrated. "Against 40 remaining Harbinger vessels, 30 ships is better than 0, and we will have the element of surprise. They think we are still weak." "Still afraid, are we not?" the commander asked quietly. "Yes, but being afraid does not mean being defeated. That is what humans can teach you." Hours passed. Hana's drug was tested. It worked, not perfectly. The aliens who took it could still feel the fear signal, but they could move through it. Think through it. It was like watching someone learn to swim in deep water. Scary, difficult, but possible. The red-scaled alien was the first to take a full dose. He stood in a test chamber while Hana played a recording of the fear signal. His body tensed. His scales turned dark, but he did not freeze. He walked forward, step by step. Fighting his own instincts. When he emerged, he was shaking, but he was smiling. "It works. I felt the fear, worse than before because I was aware of it. But I could move. I could act." Hana began mass-producing the drug. Every volunteer received a dose. 30 ships, hundreds of crew members, all of them afraid. All of them willing to fight anyway. The speaker addressed the volunteers. "You do not have to do this. No one will think less of you if you choose to stay here. Safe." No one left. Doyen stood with them. The Aurora was still being repaired, but he would fly with another crew. Minyo insisted on coming despite his broken arm. Jiwan and Hana would stay on the station. Someone needed to coordinate from there. Before they left, Yuna spoke to the entire fleet. Her words were broadcast to every ship. "For thousands of years, the Harbingers have fed on fear. They have destroyed civilizations, harvested the terror of billions. They believed that fear was the ultimate weapon, that no species could resist it. They were wrong. Today we prove that. Not because we are fearless, but because we choose courage despite our fear. This is what it means to be alive, to be free, to stand together when it would be easier to run. Go now, fight, and show the galaxy that fear does not have to win." The fleet launched, 30 ships against 40. The odds were still bad. But for the first time, the aliens were not running from fear. They were flying toward it. And the Harbingers had never faced that before. The battle began at dawn. At least it was dawn on Viridian Prime below them. In space, there was no day or night. Only darkness and stars and the glow of weapons fire. The Council fleet moved as one unit. 30 ships in formation. Doyen flew in the command vessel with the blue-skinned commander. Her name was impossible for humans to pronounce, so she told him to call her Kira. The Harbingers detected them immediately. The dark ships turned, positioned themselves. Then they broadcast the fear signal. Stronger than before, desperate, Doyen felt nothing. But around him, alien crew members gasped. Their hands shook. Kira's forearms trembled. Her blue skin turned pale. But she did not freeze. She gripped the controls tighter. "I feel it," she said through clenched teeth. "Like my heart is being crushed. But I can still move. The drug is working. All ships report status," Doyen called over the comm. One by one, the captains reported in. Some voices were shaky. Some were crying. But all of them confirmed. They could still fight. The Harbingers seemed confused. Their prey was supposed to be frozen, helpless. Instead, the Council fleet kept coming. Weapons charged, shields up, ready for battle. For the first time in thousands of years, the Harbingers had to actually fight. "Fire," Kira ordered. Energy beams lanced across space. The Council fleet had trained for combat. They had strategies, tactics. They had just never been able to use them against the Harbingers before. Now, with the drug allowing them to function through fear, they showed what they could really do. 3 Harbinger ships exploded in the first volley. The others scattered, tried to regroup, but the Council fleet pressed the attack. No mercy, no hesitation. Every species that had ever been harvested by these creatures was being avenged. Minho was on another ship, commanding a boarding team. Despite his broken arm, he had insisted on leading the most dangerous mission. When a Harbinger vessel was damaged and drifting, his team flew over in a small shuttle. They cut through the hull, entered the dark ship. Inside, it was like a nightmare. Organic walls, pulsing veins, and the harvest chambers, row after row of them, glowing with stolen fear. Minho's team set charges carefully, precisely. When they left, the ship erupted in flames. The harvest chambers were destroyed. The energy inside scattered harmlessly into space. One ship down. 39 to go. Back on Viridian Prime, Hana monitored everything. She saw the drug's effects wearing off in some crew members, saw them start to slow down. She sent warnings to those ships, told them to pull back before the fear overwhelmed them completely. Some listened. Others stayed, choosing to fight as long as they could. 2 ships were destroyed. Their crews died heroes, fighting despite their terror. Yuna watched from the command center. She saw humans and aliens working together. Humans providing guidance and courage by example. Aliens providing firepower in numbers. Together they were stronger than either could be alone. This is what the council should be, the speaker said quietly. He stood beside her. All species contributing their unique strengths. Learning from each other. You will remember this? Yuna asked. After the battle? When things are safe again? The speaker nodded. How could we forget? Humans saved us, not because you are stronger, but because you showed us that fear does not have to win. That lesson is worth more than any military alliance. The battle raged for hours. The Harbingers fought desperately. They had never lost before, never even been challenged. Their confidence became confusion. Confusion became panic, and in a dark irony, they began to feel something like fear themselves. Doyen targeted the largest remaining Harbinger vessel. It was trying to flee, running away, but the Council fleet surrounded it. There was nowhere to go. Kira aimed the main weapon. Her hands were steady now. The fear signal had stopped. The Harbingers had given up broadcasting it. They needed all their power for survival. For all those you destroyed, Kira whispered. She fired. The Harbinger ship broke apart. Its harvest chambers released their energy in a final flash. Then nothing remained but debris. The remaining Harbinger ships retreated. 15 of them left. They jumped to faster-than-light speed and vanished. Running away to deep space, to other galaxies, to anywhere but here. The Council fleet did not pursue. They had won. That was enough. When Doyen's ship docked at the station, he was exhausted. He had not slept in 2 days, had not eaten, had barely stopped moving. But he walked off that ship on his own feet. The docking bay was full again, but this time it was different. Before, the aliens had been grateful but uncertain. Now they cheered, openly and loudly, celebrating victory, celebrating survival, celebrating the strange humans who had taught them how to be brave. Minho found Doyen in the crowd. His broken arm was in a proper cast now. He looked terrible, but he was smiling. We did it, he said simply. We did, Doyen agreed. The days that followed were strange, peaceful but busy. The station repaired its damage. Ships were fixed. The dead were honored in ceremonies from hundreds of different cultures. Hana continued working on the fear resistance drug. She improved it, made it safer, longer lasting. Other scientists from different species joined her. They wanted to learn, to make sure no species would be helpless against the Harbingers ever again. Jiwan helped repair the Aurora. Alien engineers worked with her. They were fascinated by human technology, simple compared to theirs, but effective. They shared knowledge, built understanding. 3 months after the battle, the Council met again. This time, there was no debate about humanity. No questions about whether they were too dangerous. The vote was unanimous. Earth was invited to join the Galactic Council. Full membership. Equal status with all other species. But more than that, a new initiative was proposed. A joint defense program. Mixed crews of humans and aliens training together, learning from each other. Humans would teach courage and quick thinking under pressure. Aliens would share their advanced technology and vast knowledge. Doyen was offered command of the first integrated fleet. He accepted, but he made it clear, This was not about making humans into the Council's soldiers. This was about partnership, about protecting each other. The Aurora was fully repaired, better than before. The Council had upgraded her systems as a gift. When it was time to leave Viridian Prime, Doyen stood on the bridge with his crew. They were not alone. 5 other ships flew with them, Council vessels, crewed by volunteers from a dozen species. All of them had taken Hana's drug during the battle. All of them had learned what it meant to act despite fear. This is just the beginning, Yuna said. She had decided to stay on as ambassador, to continue building bridges between humans and the galaxy. This is where the real work starts. Doyen looked at his crew, at the alien ships flying beside them, at the vast galaxy ahead, so much to explore, so much to learn. And now they would do it together. Ji-Wan, he said, set course for home. We have news to deliver. Course set, Captain. The Aurora jumped to faster than light speed. The Council ships followed. Together they disappeared into the stars. Behind them on Viridian Prime, the speaker watched them go. He thought about fear, about courage, about the strange species that had saved them all. The galaxy was a dangerous place. It always had been. The Harbingers might return someday. Other threats would certainly emerge. But now the Council had something new. Something they had never had before. They had hope. And they had learned that hope was not the absence of fear. It was the choice to keep going anyway. The humans had taught them that. And the galaxy would never be the same.